Hello, 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 Christmas Flixers. Welcome back to season 5 of Chicks on Christmas Flicks, where we can never have too many Christmas movies. We can only have not enough Christmas movies. Hey, everybody, I'm KL Brady, and we are just a few days away from Christmas. Can you believe it? I am so excited. First of all, I've been on Christmas vacation all week long. And I have to tell you guys, it has been on my mind and heart to do the show, but even more so, it has been on my mind and heart to actually rest for a change, which I never do. I always, schedule every minute of my day all the way up. Even when I'm on vacation, I'm just going from thing to thing to thing, doing things. And this year I said, you know what? No, you're not going to do thing to thing to thing to thing. You're going to get up, you're going to do your prayers in the morning, and you are going to lay around like a big lump. That is what I have been doing. So I kind of apologize for not doing or posting the show sooner, but honestly, I have to tell you guys, I have gotten some much needed rest. Not much needed sleep so much as much needed rest. So I'm truly grateful for, the time that I've had. And let me tell you, I've done a lot of movie watching and then catching up on movie watching, which we will get into in a little bit later in the show. But first thing I want to talk to you guys about was kind of the two projects that I've had since I started vacation. So first of all, I have to give you guys an update on my kitchen cabinets because I know you're just dying to know what happened. So what I decided to do with my kitchen cabinets was try this thing called this kit. It's a painting kit, and it says you can make anything look like real wood. It's called Retique It, Retiquue. So if you look it up, that's what it is. It's at retique.com. And if you look at the videos, you will see how they make it look so easy to change your wood cabinets, your orangey wood cabinets, which is what I had. I had these orangey oak wood cabinets, and I was just sick of looking at orangey oak, right? And so I saw these Retique kits, and I saw this pecan color, which is supposed to super lighten up your cabinets and all this kind of stuff. So and still maintain that warmth of wood. Here's what I found out. One thing I know for sure is I don't want white cabinets. I don't want a white kitchen. I know it's all the rage now, and everybody wants a white kitchen with the marbled countertops, and that's just not me. 100% is not me. I just don't want a white kitchen. But I do want some warmth in the kitchen. I figured out that I really kind of do like that tone of wood, right? But I definitely did not want the orangey oak. I wanted something lighter. And the reason I want something lighter is I would probably go with a darker cabinet, like a deep dark brown, like a chocolate brown or something like that. But I have dark countertops. And so because of the dark countertops, I have to go with a lighter color on the cabinets. Maybe someday in the future, if I ever spend the $30,000 to $40,000 that it would take to gut my entire kitchen and replace all the cabinetry and all the drawers and all that kind of stuff, that I would go with a light countertop with a lighter color wood underneath. But because of the budget constraints that I have today, which is significant, then I'm going for the $200 paint job, basically, or $400 paint job. With the Retique kit, I had to buy the $400. Now, as I told you guys, I had 25 cabinets. I forget how many drawers. I don't know. There's a lot of drawers. There's a lot of cabinets. There's a lot of doors, uppers and lowers. I mean, there's a lot, right? My kitchen is bigger than I thought. I really, I look on YouTube at these videos. I spend a lot of time looking at them, revving myself up like an engine watching these things. And then I realized as I get into this, one, I have no artistic inclination whatsoever. I'm not an artist. That's just not what I do. I do words. I don't do art, graphic art, the beautification, the style, the interior styling, and that's not my thing. Now, I know what I want it to look like when I'm done, but I have no earthly idea how to get from A to B and where B actually looks like what I want it to look like. Like, there's no way. I don't know. So, let me just give you this piece of advice. That is you, hire somebody, right? Which is what I probably should have done, is just hired somebody. I didn't do that. So I am where I am. But trying to do critique it for me. Now, I know other people out there, you guys can do those kits and stuff like that. I have no artistic inclination whatsoever. So I will eventually, I promise, I will share with you my kitchen transition from the orangey oak to the Retique quote unquote pecan that looks a lot like orangey oak now. and what it's eventually going to look like, which is what I decided to do, which is probably what I should have done in the first place, knowing that I have no artistic inclination whatsoever, is I'm just going to paint the cabinets a color using this heirloom all-in-one paint that I've used in both of my bathrooms, like one bathroom downstairs, not both of my bathrooms. I have, I think there's like 5 bathrooms in this house, but 2 of them in the basement. I don't go ever in the basement, so I don't claim those. One belongs to my son that's up on this floor. And then 2 of them basically I use, which is my master room, bathroom, and then one on the first floor. So those 2 bathrooms I have painted with this heirloom paint, and they look beautiful. And I am just going to do that with my cabinets too. So when I do finally show you the pictures, you will see the orangey oak. You will see my transition to Retique. You will see the Retique, and then you will see me move from the Retique to the paint, because I just completely, and I totally blame it on myself. Like I think I'm going to start a YouTube channel on this to do this review, but also I want to review a bunch of other stuff too that I've gotten, like my KitchenAid grain and rice maker. I know people may have questions about that. I've got one of those vacuum cleaners that you put water in. You know what I'm talking about? That increases the suction. So I want to do a review on that. Because that's like a $500 investment, and that's an investment somebody might not make if they know all the details, or they may make it if they know all the details, right? So I just want to share about like all these products that I buy that I hopefully will either encourage somebody else to find another product or that might help them, prevent them from doing like what I did with my kitchen, which is, so I have a Retique, but I've realized I have no artistic ability, and what I need to do is keep it simple. And if I can't keep it simple, then it's not for me. I really need to hire somebody to do it. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys, my cabinet journey, that it didn't end where I wanted it to end, but it will end where I want it to end. Probably before this weekend is over, I'll be able to post those pictures. And the second thing I did, which was fun, I won't, go into a whole lot of detail on it, but I did have my first online book club meeting in a while, and the group actually read one of my older Christmas books, and I have to tell you, like, I really enjoyed that discussion so much. It was so much fun. It was so uplifting, and you know what it did? I feel like it got me through this kind of hump in my season. I've been in this season where really I've just been, I don't know, I guess the past 6 months probably, just decluttering, cleaning out the house, getting positive energy back in here because I felt so overwhelmed by crap. So finally, I feel like I'm at the end of that decluttering journey, and now it's time to get back to writing stories and writing books like I'm supposed to, because I don't feel like my calling is decluttering. I do feel like my calling is writing, so I need to get back to my calling. But I feel like I did have to declutter a lot of stuff in order to get to the point where I feel creative again. You know what I mean? And so I think I'm there now. So I'm really excited to get back to, especially after having that book club meeting. That was just one of the best things I've ever done. I mean, in a while, I should say, to actually sit down for an hour and a half, and for somebody to kind of talk about my book and the story. For anybody who's curious, it was the 12 Days of Christmas that they selected as their book club selection. So the book is, I want to say that book is about 5 years old, but they're just getting to it. And the conversation was just so wonderful, and they loved the book, they loved the story, which was great for me. But it was just really nice just to talk about the plot and the decisions I made with the storyline and the plot and the rationale behind my character Gabby, and why she did the things that she did and why she made the decisions that she made. So anyway, that was cool, and I feel like I've got my writing mojo back. So while I'm on vacation, once I finish my kitchen cabinets and I have that project done and I put my kitchen back together, I am going to spend the whole next week and the rest of my vacation getting back into the writing mode. All right, so that's pretty much all I've had going on for the last couple of weeks. I know I'm so late on getting the show done, but I have to tell you guys, I feel it may not be worth it to you, but it was worth it to me, because I do feel like I'm in a better space mentally to do the show, to do my writing, to do life, to go back to work. I was exhausted and I needed some rest, so I got some. Anyway, so today I have so much to talk about, so many shows that and movies that I got to watch, and I mean, I watched a slew of shows, and I still have a lot to watch. I didn't realize how much came out this holiday season, but there were a lot of movies that came out this season, and like I said, I kind of got behind on a few because I really was resting my brain and not doing stuff. But now I'm going to get back into it. So for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to really spend getting caught up on everything Christmas movie, all the stuff that I haven't watched. And later in the show, I will give you a list of the things that I haven't watched. There's so much that I haven't watched. Oh my gosh, there's so much that I haven't watched. But what I did get to watch, so what we'll talk about later today is, one, I watched BB Winans' We Three Kings. I also watched Sugarplummed, so we're going to have a recap, a review about that. Our Little Secret, The Santa Claus, The Merry Gentleman, and coming up in the Hot or Not Chip Picks, I got a bunch of stuff. A Very Merry Beauty Salon, Private Princess Christmas, Make or Bake Christmas, Leah's Perfect Gift, Hanukkah on the Rocks, Believe in Christmas, and Follow Yonder Star. And then also Mistletoe and Matrimony. I have to tell you, I don't have a Christmas turkey of the week. I almost had one, But I went back and rewatched the movie and realized that it was absolutely not a turkey. And so I had to take my Christmas turkey pick and move it out of the Christmas turkey category. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, in the recaps and reviews, and then we're going to talk about a slew of stuff coming up this weekend that you guys need to know, and that's why I really want to get this out early. So for those of you who listen to the show, before you kind of pick what you're going to watch this weekend, you've got to know there is a lot of good stuff coming out between yesterday, Thursday, and through the weekend, and then through Christmas. There's so much going on. So I want to talk about that a little bit. First things first, though, St. Nick shout-outs. As always, I love to begin the show with my St. Nick shout-outs to listeners. It is my favorite tradition. Guys, I can't believe we're almost through the 5th season. Can you believe that? Almost through the 5th season. Christmas is almost over. Like I said, I'm going to spend the next 2 weeks getting caught up on all these movies I haven't seen. But I've still seen a lot. There's been a lot of movies out. I can't believe this. I am truly thankful to anyone and everyone who squeezes this podcast into their busy schedule or makes time for the show outside of their busy schedules. Today, I'm going to give you the long, full-length St. Nick shout-outs. I'm going to give some big love to 5 listener locations who have been definitely checking out the show over the past couple of weeks. I even got my year roundup, my 2024 year roundup. I was really surprised at my number 1 city. You guys will probably be surprised about my number 1 city. You'll find out a little bit about that later. But anyway, remember, I don't know who you are, but I know where you live. All right. The first on the list is, and my number 1 listener location, by the way, is London, England. Can you believe it? Not a state in the United States, but London, England is the number 1 listener location in my annual year-end roundup for the podcast. Thank you for Buzzsprout. And of course, our St. Nick shoutouts are going to be brought to you today by Microsoft, the ChatGPT. No, they don't sponsor me, but they have made life so much easier to pull this information together. They used to take me hours of research, and now I can do it in pretty much a few minutes. So gotta love that. Anyway, number 1, London, England, the home of minced pies and Christmas pudding. London is renowned for its festive atmosphere during Christmas, with a variety of events that cater to all ages and interests. Here are the top 5 Christmas events in London that are sure to create magical memories. Number 1, Winter Wonderland in Hyde Park. Hyde Park transforms into a winter spectacular, offering ice skating, a Christmas market, circus shows, fairground rides, and a giant observation wheel. Oh my gosh, this sounds like so much fun. I would love Christmas in Winter Wonderland in Hyde Park. That sounds right up my alley. The highlight is the ice skating rink, which is particularly stunning, set against the backdrop of the park's winter beauty. Number 2, Covent Garden Christmas lights and decorations. This runs from November to early January. Covent Garden's cobbled piazza and surrounding streets are adorned with Christmas decorations and twinkling lights. This includes an iconic Christmas tree in the piazza and often a giant mistletoe chandelier. Wow. I wonder how much kissing goes on under that one. That may be a good spot for a Christmas movie. The giant Christmas tree and the huge mistletoe chandelier are the must-see photo spots. Number 3 is Kew Gardens. Christmas at Kew. Now get this. When I saw Kew Gardens, I was like, wait a minute. Isn't there a Kew Gardens in the United States? If you wondered the same thing I wondered, then yes, there is a Kew Gardens in Queens, New York. How about that? But we're talking about the one in London. Kew Gardens is a stunning botanical garden, and during Christmas it hosts a magical light trail. Visitors can stroll through beautifully lit paths, see illuminated trees, and enjoy seasonal treats at food stalls. Christmas at Kew is set against the backdrop of the historical gardens and includes installations like glowing trees, light tunnels, and a sparkling palm house. Number 4, the Nutcracker at the Royal Opera House. For a truly classic Christmas experience, nothing beats a performance of the Nutcracker at the Royal Opera House. The iconic ballet with its beautiful choreography, costumes, and Tchaikovsky's timeless music has been a holiday tradition in London for many, many years. Christmas markets at South Bank Centre. This runs from November to December. The South Bank Centre Winter Market is a favorite, offering a festive selection of food, drinks, arts, and crafts. The market is set against the iconic backdrop of the Thames and features an eclectic range of Christmas gifts, delicious seasonal snacks, and mulled wine. Now, we know how much I've gotten into mulled wine. I have not made any this season yet. Normally, when my nephew was living here, he and I would share. He and I would split the mulled wine. I'd make a crock pot full of it, and we would drink it over 4 days. But he's not here this season. He moved out and got his own place. They grow up so fast. So on to number 2. Number 2 for this week is Odenton, Maryland. Odenton, while a smaller town, still offers some charming local events and nearby attractions that celebrate the holiday season. Here are the top 5 Christmas events in Odenton and the surrounding areas that are perfect for enjoying the festive spirit. Now, I have to say, Odenton is actually not far from where I live. So I live in Maryland. It's probably about 45 minutes away from me, going towards Baltimore. So I'm really excited to thank you for joining the show today, Odenton, Maryland. Glad to have you guys on board. All right, so the number 1 event in Odenton is Lights on the Bay at Sandy Point State Park. Let me tell you, I love Sandy Point State Park. It is one of the few beachy areas where I live. So I'm really, I love going to that area just to sit kind of by the Chesapeake Bay near the beachy areas. While located a short drive from Odenton, Lights on the Bay at Sandy Point State Park is a must-see holiday event in the Annapolis area. This drive-through light display features over 70 sparkling holiday-themed scenes along the shore of the Chesapeake Bay, which I just told you guys I love sitting by the Chesapeake Bay. The event benefits the Anne Arundel Medical Center and is a beloved tradition for families. Number 2 is Odenton Town Tree Lighting and Holiday Celebration. The Odenton Town Tree Lighting ceremony is a community favorite. The event features includes festive activities such as caroling, hot cocoa, and visits from Santa Claus. It's a wonderful opportunity to celebrate the season with neighbors and friends in a warm, small town atmosphere. And Odenton really is a small town atmosphere. That's one reason I love it. It's very charming. The Nutcracker at Maryland Hall for the Creative Arts. Just a short drive from Odenton, Maryland Hall for the Creative Arts in Annapolis hosts performances of the Nutcracker Ballet. This holiday classic, performed by local dancers and accompanied by live music, is a fantastic way to enjoy a traditional Christmas celebration. Number 4 is the Annapolis Christmas Market. Located just a few miles from Odenton, the Annapolis Christmas Market is a traditional European-style holiday market. It features unique artisan gifts, seasonal food, mulled wine, and plenty of holiday cheer. The market is a great place to shop for one-of-a-kind Christmas gifts and enjoy festive entertainment. And number 5 is Holiday Train Garden at B&O Railroad Museum. The B&O Railroad Museum in nearby Baltimore, about 25 minutes from Odenton, hosts a festive holiday train garden. This beautifully decorated model train display is a favorite for families, with trains winding through intricate winter scenes and miniature villages. It's a magical experience for kids and adults alike. So that is it for Odenton, Maryland. Thank you for joining this show. Next up, number 3 is Denver, Colorado. Denver, Colorado, which has become one of my favorite locations in recent months. And I will say, probably for the last couple of years. Sko Buffs. So I have been watching, this is an aside, right? I have been watching so much Colorado football, college football, because of, Coach Prime, Shadur, Shiloh, Travis Hunter, all those guys. Now let me tell you something. I have not been a huge college football fan, and I'm normally a fan of anything that is related to the DC area or in or around. So the Maryland Terrapins, the Washington Commanders, the Washington Mystics, the Caps, whatever's DC based, that's what I'm a fan of. The Nationals, right? This is what I'm a fan of normally. But every so once in a while, I will, kind of either get connected to a player or a team outside of the area, and that I really get invested in. And I have to say, I have been super invested in Colorado since Coach Prime got there. And I have to say, it's not because Coach Prime was Deion Sanders and, he was who he was, which was a phenomenal football player, but it's just the way, to me, that he connects with the kids. And I love to see that, he puts his Christianity in his relationships with his team and with his players and with his family and with his sons and all of that. So for me, that's like a major draw. So I have been, pulling for them all season, and I love to see the progress, because I bought, the gear last year when they were 4-8, right? So I was not a Son Tommy fan. I was more of a fan of what he was doing with the kids than I was a fan of what they were doing on the field. And it just so happens that what he was doing with the kids has caught up to what they're doing on the field this year. So, and I have to say this, me and Shadur, we share the same birthday, not date, but the day, February 7th. We both have the same birthday. So that's just a factoid. It means absolutely nothing. But I thought it was interesting. But it's funny that Shadur and I share the same birthday. But actually, Shiloh's like my favorite. I mean, he's all personality. He's really funny. He's my favorite out of Deion's kids. I will have to say that. Just very funny, good sense of humor. If you ask Shadur, he would probably tell you he likes being around Shiloh for the same things. So, anyway. So suffice to say, I've been a big fan of everything Colorado, including the fact that perhaps there are some folks in Colorado that listen to the show, so thank you so much for joining. Here are the top 5 Christmas events in Colorado. In Denver, Christkindl Market. This runs from November through December in the Civic Center Park. Inspired by the German Christmas markets, the Denver Christkindl Market is a magical holiday experience. Visitors can shop for handcrafted gifts, enjoy delicious European food like bratwurst and pretzels, and sip on mulled wine or hot cocoa. I have got to get me some mulled wine or make some. I'm really missing out this season. The festive atmosphere is enhanced with live performances, ice skating, and visits from Santa Claus. Number 2, Denver Botanic Gardens, Blossoms of Light. From mid-November to early January, one of the city's most enchanting holiday light displays, Blossom of Light, transform the Botanic Gardens into a winter wonderland. Visitors can stroll through over 1 million twinkling lights and enjoy the holiday music and marvel at the creative light installations in the garden's diverse landscapes. Number 3 is Zoo Lights at the Denver Zoo. This runs from November through early January. Zoo Lights is a festive favorite with over 150 acres of the zoo adorned with dazzling holiday lights. Visitors can walk or take a tram through the zoo to enjoy the colorful light displays, visit Santa, and enjoy a holiday-themed treat. Number 4, A Christmas Carol at Denver Center for the Performing Arts. The classic Charles Dickens' tale, A Christmas Carol, is a holiday tradition with beautiful sets, costumes, and live music. It's the perfect event for those who enjoy the theater and want to get into the holiday spirit with a traditional tale of redemption. Number 5, Union Station's Holiday Celebrations. Denver's iconic Union Station is beautifully decorated for the holidays and hosts a variety of festive events. Highlights include the grand illumination when the station is lit up with holiday lights and Santa Paws event where pets can pose for holiday photos with Santa. Oh my gosh, I want to take Tiger. They saw that big horse coming to take pictures with Santa. But he's my sweet baby puppy. I would like to do that one year with him. Anyway, the station also features a holiday market, live music, and delicious seasonal treats, making it a perfect stop for holiday cheer. These events offer a mix of holiday traditions and magic, ensuring that there's something for everyone to enjoy in Denver during Christmas time. Number 4 on the list is Reykjavik, Iceland. Reykjavik, Iceland. I learned how to pronounce Reykjavik. I'm proud of myself for that. I'm sorry if I don't do anything else in this list. I have pronounced Reykjavik properly. I'm so excited. Anyway, Reykjavik, Iceland is a fantastic place to experience Christmas and New Year celebrations, offering a blend of Nordic traditions, winter wonderlands, and unique events. The top 5 Christmas events are, number 1, the Reykjavik Christmas Market. The Reykjavik Christmas Market is a charming outdoor market that captures the spirit of the holiday season. Here, you can shop for handmade crafts, Icelandic holiday treats, and local gifts. The market also features a cozy atmosphere with twinkling lights, food stalls offering traditional Icelandic cuisine, and hot drinks like mulled wine. Hello, mulled wine. Let me tell you, there's wine everywhere. There's nothing better about the holidays. It's mulled wine. Like mulled wine and hot cocoa. Number 2, the Icelandic Christmas Show. The Icelandic Christmas Show. This runs in December at Harpa Concert Hall. This delightfully family-friendly show brings Icelandic Christmas traditions to life through a mix of music, dance, and storytelling. The Icelandic Christmas show is filled with festive performances that feature local singers, dancers, and musicians, highlighting Icelandic folklore and Christmas customs. Number 3 is Christmas lights and decorations in downtown Reykjavik. Downtown Reykjavik is beautifully adorned with Christmas lights during the holiday season, and a stroll down I learned how to say Reykjavik, but I don't know how to say the name of this street. It's Lagavager. Lagavager is the city's main shopping street. Is a magical experience. The city is lit up with sparkling displays, and you will find Christmas trees, wreaths, and festive decorations throughout downtown. And number 4 is New Year's Eve fireworks display, December 31st. That is coming up in a little over a week. Reykjavik is known for its epic New Year's Eve fireworks display, one of the largest in Europe. Locals celebrate by lighting thousands of private fireworks across the city, creating a breathtaking citywide fireworks show that can be seen from nearly every corner of Reykjavik. The atmosphere is festive, with people gathering in parks by the water or on rooftops to watch the sky light up as the clock strikes midnight. The I'm going to spell this. The JOLAHATIO Christmas Festival at the National Museum of Iceland. The Christmas Festival at the National Museum of Iceland. The National Museum of Iceland hosts an annual Christmas festival where visitors can explore Icelandic holiday traditions, folklore, folk tales, and artifacts related to Christmas. The museum offers special exhibits about Icelandic Christmas folklore, including the Yule Lads, the 13 mischievous Christmas figures from Icelandic mythology, as well as traditional music, crafts, and activities for the family. And that was number 5. Thank you for joining the show, Reykjavik. And number 5 on the list is Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania offers a cozy and historic setting for Christmas celebrations. The town combines Civil War history and the charm of a traditional small town holiday season. Here are the top 5 events. Number 1 is the Gettysburg Christmas Festival. The Gettysburg Christmas Festival is one of the town's signature events, offering a wide range of holiday activities. This festival features holiday parades, tree lighting ceremonies, artisan markets, live music performances, and holiday-themed events at local museums and historic sites. Number 2, a Gettysburg Christmas Holiday Walking Tour. This unique walking tour combines the charm of Gettysburg historic streets with the spirit of Christmas. During the tour, visitors learn about the town's rich Civil War history while enjoying the holiday decorations and lights. The guide will share stories of Christmas in the 19th century, recounting both wartime traditions and peaceful moments in the town's past. Number 3, the Festival of Trees at Gettysburg National Military Park Museum and Visitor Center. This beautiful holiday tradition is a must-see for anyone visiting Gettysburg during the Christmas season. The Festival of Trees showcases an impressive collection of decorated Christmas trees, all beautifully themed and sponsored by local organizations, businesses, and family. Number 4, Christmas at the Gettysburg College. At Gettysburg College's Gettysburg Lutheran Seminary Chapel. The Gettysburg Lutheran Seminary Chapel offers a heartwarming and traditional Christmas Eve service that features caroling, candlelight, and beautiful hymns. Visitors can also join seasonal concerts, including performances by local choirs and ensembles, which take place throughout December. The historic chapel provides a perfect setting for experiencing Christmas in Gettysburg, with its stunning architecture and deep connection to the town's history. Number 5, Ebenezer Scrooge's Christmas Carol at the Majestic Theater. Majestic Theater, they just had a movie about that on Hallmark a couple years ago. The Majestic Theater, I don't think it's the same one though. For those who enjoy classic holiday theater, the Ebenezer Scrooge's Christmas Carol production at the Majestic Theater is a holiday favorite. This annual performance of the timeless Charles Dickens tale brings the beloved story of Scrooge, Tiny Tim, and the Ghost of Christmas to life with talented local casts. The historic Majestic Theater provides a cozy, intimate setting for the show, making it the perfect way to embrace the holiday spirit. So, thank you for joining Gettysburg, Virginia. I'm so glad you could join the show. Now it is time for Ho 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 holiday headlines. So here's the big news for this week. The big news for this week is that, first let's start with the scheduling. So the big news for this week is the scheduling. Let's start with Hallmark Family, which has been showing classic Christmas movies practically every weekend since the beginning of the season. That all comes to a screeching halt this weekend. There will be no classic movies on holiday on Hallmark Family. I am so upset about that. However, even though there are no classic movies, there will be movies on Up TV and Lifetime through Christmas, basically. So starting this weekend through Christmas, you're going to have Christmas movies, all day Christmas movies on Up TV and on Lifetime. So we lose one, but we gain the others. And of course, we're still going to have our shows on Hallmark and Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, or Hallmark Mysteries. And that's pretty much, I don't really have a lot of news. Like I said, we're deep into the season, and there's just not a lot of non-movie news apart from premieres. But we're going to talk about that in the second half of the show. So let's get straight on in to recaps and reviews. All right. I'm recapping and reviewing 5 movies this week. Okay. The first movie is B.B. Winans' We Three Kings. A retired musician, Lincoln, a record store owner and father to estranged sisters Lydia, Gracie, and Abigail, conspires with friend Janelle to reunite them for Christmas after their mother's passing. I have to tell you, of course, I love the Winans family. I love B.B. Winans for all the music hits. So this is my first time actually seeing him act. And I love this movie. This was so good. It was more dramatic than is my taste. I like romantic comedies. This was definitely more dramatic, but it did have funny moments in it. I would say it was a perfect blend of spirituality and gospel, romantic comedy, and then family drama. So it was a perfect mix of all those three. This was probably one of the better movies I've watched this season so far. I give this between, I would say, 4.25 and 4.5 Christmas trees. Definitely, if you get time to watch it, I do think it comes on this weekend. If you get a chance to catch it. It's kind of in the spirit of Kirk Franklin's Gospel Christmas, the first one, which I really liked, and his second gospel movie, which I thought was pretty good. So there's definitely a lot of singing in this movie as compared to other Christmas movies. That doesn't mean like it's a musical. It is definitely not a musical, but it definitely has musical moments. And musical moments that, hey, a Winans is singing. So it's one that you're going to be able to appreciate. And if you don't appreciate, well, shame on you. Anyway, I was really excited about BB Winans movie, and it did not disappoint. My next movie on my list is number 2, Sugarplummed, with Maggie Lawson, who, of course, we know her from a lot of Hallmark movies, but Christmas and Evergreen. Janelle Parrish, who starred in a Coyote Creek Christmas, and Brendan Zub. I don't know if you guys know him. He played in, where I remember him mostly from is the Christmas Calendar that he played with Laura Bell on Up TV. So anyway, Brendan Zub, I really enjoyed this movie. Emily's wish for a picture-perfect Christmas comes true when a magical, optimistic movie character steps off the screen to help. But as things spiral out of control, she learns what true holiday perfection might look like. She learns that true holiday perfection might look very different from what she imagined. So, anytime a movie starts out with somebody wanting a perfect Christmas, you almost know that 1, it's not going to be perfect, and 2, that it's probably going to end in some kind of small or major disaster. And this movie was absolutely no different. You had somebody starting out the show wishing for Christmas perfection. As we all know, there are no perfect Christmases. There's no perfection. I've never had a perfect Christmas. Every time that I have planned for a perfect Christmas, it has ended up in absolute disaster. So what I will say is, the movie is very true to life. But what I did find interesting, it reminded me very much of, on Up TV, A Christmas Movie, Christmas, where you had the main characters who were kind of woke up in this Christmas world, right? Now, in this movie, it's kind of the opposite. You have the Christmas world actually zapped into, magically appearing in the real world. And so then all that Christmas magic and all that kind of stuff has to align to like real world scenarios. And magic and real don't exactly, they're like oil and water. They don't mix very well, and bad things can happen when you're from this magical world and you think that things are supposed to work the way they do in the magical world, but they don't work like that in the real world. And that is what you had in this movie. You had this constant pull and tug with this real world and the magic. And can we make this the perfect holiday? Long story short, no. But it is. But can you have a happy Christmas? No matter what. Long story short, yeah. So anyway, Sugarplummed. I actually really enjoyed Sugarplum a little bit more than I thought I was going to, but not as much as I hoped I would. Let's put it that way. So for me, Sugarplums got 4 Christmas trees. There were some parts of it that were very kind of heavy-handed in terms of the magic of the moment and how the magic meshed with the real world piece that really just kind of threw me out of the story on a couple of occasions, which is why it's not a higher rating. But 4 Christmas trees for me, as you guys know, that's pretty high. I'll watch that movie more than once. It's not one that I will save on my DVR. Put it that way. BB Winans, We Three Kings, it's on my DVR. It's going to stay on my DVR. That's how much I liked it. Okay? All right, number 3 is Our Little Secret with Lindsay Lohan. Now, we all know Lindsay Lohan from so many things, right? Ian Harding. She co-starred with Ian Harding. Now, I don't know if you guys know, like, Ian Harding's. I don't know. He's not been super popular in the movies that I have watched, but he was in The Ghost of Christmas Always, which is absolutely one of my favorite movies. And then Kristen Chenoweth, who was the mom in this movie. And she played that role so well. Oh my God. She has this like cute squeaky voice, but she could be the epitome of evil if she wants to be. That is Kristen. So I really liked her role. I liked Lindsay's role. I liked Ian Harding. I loved Ian Harding in this. So the premise of this movie is two resentful exes must awkwardly spend Christmas together after they learn that their new partners are siblings. Yeah, so this was really interesting. You imagine like falling in love with somebody and thinking that you're going to marry them, and then you have this really bad breakup, and then years later you end up at the same house, staying at the same house for Christmas, sharing Christmas with someone. Your ex is with another woman and you're with another man, and you all have to stay in the house together. And then you have this kind of like this antagonist in the form of this wicked stepmother. It's just insane. Needless to say, there was conflict over conflict over conflict in these movies. In this movie, to me, it was really good. I know it didn't get such high ratings. I personally don't think that you should pay attention to the ratings with this if you really like Christmas movies and drama. Now, it had its moments, right? It's like not great moments, but for the whole, I would say this is well worth your watch. I personally gave this movie 4 Christmas trees. In a season where movies have not held my interest, or I've been easily distracted from watching the movies, this one easily held my attention for the whole time, which is a struggle in and of itself. And then it managed somehow to also be funny, and also to have this kind of underlying drama, but to maintain the kind of romantic comedy of it all. I think it did a lot, which may have been part of the problem, right? But I feel like this movie did a lot and accomplished a lot in 2 hours. So for me, it was well worth a watch. So it was a 4 Christmas tree watch for me. The next movie on my list is The Santa Claus. This is with Kimberly Susted and Ben Ayers and Paul Campbell. I had to note him, even though he was a minor character in this. Paul Campbell played himself, which I don't think was really himself. He played what people probably think Paul Campbell is supposed to play. But anyway, the premise of this movie is Kate North, the owner of a struggling Santa school, and her instructor Dan must help an amnesia-stricken Santa Claus regain his memories to save Christmas and hopefully her school as well. I have to say, guys, the Santa Claus is probably one of my favorite Hallmark movies this year so far. Like, if I had to rank it right now, it 100% is in my top 5, and it's probably really close to number 1. I loved it. I loved the writing, and it was like funny, like laugh out loud funny. And I know Hallmark does not allow all of its movies to be as funny as this one was. But this one was actually funny. It was well written. So there's this kind of fantasy element where you have this Santa Claus. Okay, so Kimberly Susted runs basically a Santa school for mall Santas, and Ben Ayers teaches at a competing school for mall Santas. Ben's character gets fired and finds a job at Kimberly's school, but her school is struggling to make it, and of course, the inevitable doom of potential closure kind of looms over the story. But both of them together, they get together, they decide, okay, we're going to teach together. And I don't think he really knows that the school is in the trouble that it's in. But anyway, at the beginning of the movie, they rescue this guy who's dressed in a Santa Claus outfit, and these guys from the Santa school end up rescuing this Santa-looking dude, and they walk through the woods and they find his sleigh and his reindeer. And so they know, oh my God, this is the real Santa. But Santa's lost his memory, and they have to take Santa to their Santa school where they train these mall Santas. And so that's kind of the setup for the movie, right? So you basically have I want to say there's 6 or 7 Santas. One of the Santas included is Paul Campbell, who is playing an actor who is up for this Santa character. So he has to kind of learn how to play Santa. This actor learns how to play Santa. Now we all know Paul Campbell is an actor. And when he says his name, I burst out laughing. I was like, this is hilarious. So Paul Campbell is being a caricature of Paul Campbell, because I don't think that's the real Paul Campbell, but he's playing an actor that is Paul Campbell, which is really, really funny. And so in the middle of all this stuff, you kind of have him kind of doing his comedic thing, and he's seriously funny. And then you have Kimberly Sustad, who's kind of playing the straight person in this. She's really funny. And then Ben Ayers, I think he was kind of out of character, but in character. So I really liked him in this. I liked him playing against Kimberly Sustad, which I've never seen those two in a movie together before. At least I don't think so, right off the top of my head. So anyway, it was a good pairing to me, and it was just a good movie, and it was well written. And I just don't find that humor, that powerful laugh out loud humor in a lot of Christmas movies, and I definitely found it in this one. So the Santa Claus is on my DVR. It is one that I will watch again and again. It's one of those that I'll put on when I have a rough day at work and I need to come home and just de-work. So it'll be one of those movies, definitely one to watch. So if you have not watched the Santa Claus, you must watch it. I would give this one 4.25 to 4.5 Christmas trees, with the potential to go higher depending on how things pan out this weekend. And the last movie in my recaps and reviews is The Merry Gentleman. This was on Netflix. And the premise of this is to save her parents' small town performing venue, a former big city dancer decides to stage an all-male Christmas-themed revue. Okay, so this movie to me gave Full Monty. I don't know if you guys have seen the Full Monty, but this movie immediately gave me the Full Monty vibes. People say Magic Mike. I would say Magic Mike in that it had dancers, but it was really more like the Full Monty. So if you haven't watched the Full Monty, you watch the Full Monty, then watch this. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So the main character decides to stage an all-male Christmas-themed revue. Decides is strong. She got fired from her job because she aged out. And so she went home, and then she realized her parents' place was in, it was in trouble financially and was going to close. And apparently this place used to have shows, but it quit. And so she decided to bring the shows back. And she saw some hot dudes there, including, I know him originally from the Cinderella Story. So if you watch the Cinderella Story and you know he was kind of like the Prince Charming in that story, then you know who I'm talking about. Chad Michael Murray. Gosh, it's not Christopher, it's Chad. Sorry. Chad Michael Murray. So anyway, so he plays in this movie, and I have to say, like, I actually like this movie. I know it didn't get very high ratings, but for me, it wasn't bad. And I don't know if it was the bare chests or in the grinding things, or if it was because of the story and the script. I don't know. It's probably a little convoluted mixed in there. But so I guess the question is, like, would I have liked this movie as much if it didn't have the bare chests and stuff? I don't know. I probably would have, may have, could have. I don't know, because it's not a question I really need to ask, because it does have the bare chests and the grinding and the booty shaking. So anyway, so what I would say is it's definitely worth your time to watch one time. For me, like I said, the Merry Gentleman, it was thoroughly enjoyable. Will I watch it again? I'm not sure. I might watch it one other time this season, but it's not one that I feel compelled to watch over and over and over and over and over again. But it's certainly one that if it's on, I'm not changing the channel. Let's put it that way. So for me, The Merry Gentleman rated about 3.5 to 4 Christmas trees. Definitely worth a watch at least one time. And you might find it that it'll be worth the watch a couple more times than that, but at least one watch, okay? All right, now it's time for some hot or not chick picks, and then I'm going to take a break and come back with what's coming up this weekend. And there's a lot of goodness happening, gotta tell you. Okay, so hot or not chick picks. And this segment really allows me to rate movies without giving a whole lot of background if I don't want to. The first on my list is A Very Merry Beauty Salon, and this is Tia Mowry's movie on Lifetime, and I gave that one a hot. I actually did not go into this movie with high hopes of thinking I was going to like it, and I really liked it. It was funny. It had its moments. Of course, there's a ball, and, balls, real estate developers. I mean, it has kind of a tropey romantic rom-com theme, but it actually pulls it off well. There were some very funny, laugh out loud funny moments with Tia's role. So I really kind of give props to the writers on that one. They really made that movie funny. They made it heartwarming, endearing. I really liked the ending. It was a very sweet ending. It kind of left me on a nice high, so it was good. So I would give A Very Merry Beauty Salon a hot. Private Princess Christmas, which was a Hallmark movie, I would give that one a warm. It wasn't cold, it wasn't or not, right? But it wasn't hot, so I would give it a warm. If you see it on, that's definitely one. If you watch it once, I feel like you've had enough. So you don't really feel compelled to watch that more than once. Make or Bake Christmas, which was on Lifetime, and it had Vivica A. Fox and Jack A. Harry. So when you hear those headliners in it, you think, this is gonna be good, right? No, I mean, for me, it was, like I said, it was not an or not. It was more like a warm, right? It wasn't hot for sure. It was probably warm. I think they have a couple of new actors and actresses in there that are kind of doing the lead romantic parts, and for me, they just didn't knock it out of the park. So I would give this a warm. Number 4 on my list is Leah's Perfect Gift. That's a Hallmark movie on it was a Hallmark movie, and it's a Hanukkah movie. And it's very much like a fish out of water, where you take this girl, she's Jewish, but she loves Christmas tradition. She loves the trappings of Christmas, you know. So she may not be into the reason for the season, but she's definitely into the like all the Christmas stuff, the wrapping, the trees, the displays, the lights, she loves all that stuff, right? And she wants to learn more about it, which I love about her character, right? She goes into the situation wanting to learn, not wanting to disrespect the culture. So her boyfriend, Evan, takes her home to visit. And so you have this Jewish girl in a very traditional Christmas atmosphere, and but her mother she was played by Barbara Niven, right? Her mother was just completely insufferable in the beginning, and she had all these traditions, but it was very rigid, right? It was do things this way, and if you do things this way, this means we're enjoying Christmas. Well, no, Christmas is not supposed to be about that, right? It's not supposed to be so rigid that you can't fall out of line. Like Christianity is not even like that, right? So anyway, it was, you had this fish out of water, her coming in, trying to do these traditions, but like feeling like she's a failure at doing the traditions that she believes will honor the family's traditions. And so here's the thing, like at one point I kind of wanted to get miffed at the son, right? Because I'm like, if I had a fiance, or if I had a girlfriend or a boyfriend, in my case it would be a boyfriend, but if I was him and I had a girlfriend and I brought them into my house, like I would protect them, right? This, if anything happened, it's on me, it's not on them. It shouldn't be them feeling frustrated, or them, if I'm inviting them into my house, then I'm taking all the smoke for them, right? So if any smoke is directed at them from my parents or anything, I'm taking the smoke. I'm not letting I'm protecting them from that. And like, that's what you don't see from him. So there was a little bit of frustration, as far as I could tell, for me, watching him do that. However, the movie does take a turn, and things do work out much differently than even I thought they would at the beginning. So I would say, have a little patience with this. It might tick you off in the middle, but at the end you'll be satisfied. So I would say for Leah's Perfect Gift, that definitely got a hot for me, and that's definitely one that I will watch more than once. It's probably not one that will land on my DVR, but I super enjoyed it. It's definitely a hot for me. Hanukkah on the Rocks, on the other hand, was warm for me. It was not as good as Leah's Perfect Gift. And I would say, like, in terms of the Hanukkah movies that I really, and there are some that I really love on Hallmark, Hanukkah on the Rocks is not one of the ones I love. Hanukkah on Rye, love. Love Light and Hanukkah, love those movies. Those to me are super hot movies, right? I love those movies. I wasn't loving this one as much because it felt more like instruction and less like I'm watching a romance, either between two Jewish characters or between a Christian and Jewish character. Like, I just wasn't feeling like the focus was on the romance. In this movie, it felt like the focus was on instructing people about Hanukkah, and the romance was secondary. Whereas everywhere else, the romance was primary, and learning about Hanukkah kind of came secondary, but it was still a strong second. It was more like a 1A, right? it wasn't a 2. It was more like a 1A, where the romance was 1, right? In this case, though, it was like the teaching was 1A and the romance was 3. And when you have movies that are balanced like that, For me, at least, like when the romance and the comedy play the lesser roles, then for me, it usually will rank lower. So that's why it did for me. Hanukkah on the Rocks for me is definitely one that you should watch at least one time. But will I watch it more than once? Probably not. Definitely will not land up on my DVR. All right. All right. The next one is Believe in Christmas. To me, that actually got a hot. Now, here's the funny thing. I did not know John Reardon and what's her face from Chesapeake Shores. I didn't know they were married. I did not know they were married. It was funny. I was watching the movie and I was thinking, man, they really have great character. They give they really look at each other like it looks like there's a little something going on here, right? That goes beyond, the characters. And then of course after the movies, like way after the movie's over, I learned that they're actually a married couple in real life. And I'm like, well, no wonder I was seeing like this thing. There was a naturalness to their relationship and all that. To me, it really came through the characters and their attraction for each other and stuff, and the way they looked at each other. I mean, you could tell that couple was still gaga for each other. So, I did not know they were married at the time I was looking at it. I would have given it a hot before I knew that, but I definitely give it a hot now because their relationship just bleeds through their acting. It really does. So, Believe in Christmas definitely is a hot for me. And then, last but not least, is Follow Yonder Star. This was a not. It's not a warm. I struggled through this. It's one of the few movies that I struggled through, and I don't think it was really about the characters, like I don't think it's really about the acting or the actors. I really think it's kind of the writing. Brooke D'Orsay was in this. John Brotherton was in this. And I love both of them, actually. I love both of them a lot. And John Brotherton, to me, he had this like kind of mushy, this kind of soft side in this movie that, you kind of see it in his other movies, but really was on display in this one. But here's the thing, there was another movie, I think in the last show that I talked about that was like this as well, where you get to the end of the movie and it resolves entirely too quickly for the drama that was caused. Like when you walk out on somebody and you're like, you're not what I thought you were, and I'm out, peace, and you're gone, right? And then in the next scene, you're like, well, maybe I was wrong. And there's nothing that happens to make you think that. You're just like, maybe I was wrong. And then somebody talks to you and you're like, let me go find them. Let me run and find them and stop them from leaving my life. And it's just like, no, there needs to be something that happens before that. Maybe there's a montage where you see them, them together, and then he kind of realizes after seeing the montage that, oh, maybe she's what I think she is, and she's not what she's turned out to be. Or maybe I need to give her another chance to explain because this was too much. There's some kind of trigger there for that behavior, instead of just happening, right? And in this movie, that wasn't. And that's a writer issue, right? That's a writer issue. It's not an acting issue. So I would say, the writers did what they could, but yeah. I mean, the actors did what they could, but the writers, I would give the fault to the writers for this. Is that the end just resolved too quickly? You gotta give that some time. You gotta give it a minute, 2 minutes of just stewing in the problem, realizing that the person that you fell in love with can't be the person that you now imagine them to be, having some kind of montage. Something happens, and then you say, "Oh, I've got to go run after them," and then you're running after them not to kind of validate the goodness that you think of them, right? Not the badness. And so without that time to kind of stew in the bad part, like it really feels contrived and rushed to the end, and that's what happened here. So for me, Follow Yonder Star is a not. And then 7, 8. So here's the eighth movie. I have to say, I was gonna make this my Christmas turkey of the week, but I can't because it was actually better than I thought. So I had this one on my DVR because I knew I wasn't going to get a chance to watch it because I was watching the Hallmark movies. But the OWN movie, Mistletoe and Matrimony. So the first time I watched it, it barely held my attention. And I was just super not impressed. But the second time I watched it again. I said, let me give it a chance when I'm not distracted, when I can just actually sit and watch the movie. And it was actually good. I couldn't even make it the turkey of the week. I couldn't even force it into the turkey of the week. To me, it was better than Follow Yonder Star. And I don't really want to give that a turkey of the week because there was some good things about it. But Mistletoe Matrimony, for me, I would say definitely is a warm. I wouldn't give it a hot, but I would give it a warm. So if you, I think it comes on this weekend on the OWN network, on Oprah's network, right? So if you get a chance to watch Mistletoe and Matrimony, go ahead and check it out. And that is it. I'm going to take a quick break, but I'll be right back to tell you what I'm watching this weekend, the weekend before Christmas. See you in a couple minutes.
Now available for pre-order. Are you looking for the perfect romantic comedy to help you find your calling and renew your faith in Christmas magic this holiday season? Look no further than The Nick Before Christmas, a heartwarming story about one woman's journey to her second act and back to her first love. Nikki Wright is ready to celebrate the big 5-0 for Christmas in July, but a hot flash leads her to a sobering realization. Her life has hit rock bottom. Her successes, the home and the car, feel empty. Her vision board has been a waste of time, her job is unfulfilling, and she's mulling over a proposal from Smith, who she's certain she doesn't like. The best day of her life spirals into the worst. During a near-death experience, a meeting with her guardian angel presents Nikki with an ultimatum. Either go to heaven or return to Earth and find her second act by Christmas Eve. If she doesn't succeed, her future's bleak. Her life will be filled with days no better than the worst. With only a few months to make her dreams come true, can Nikki achieve her second act and rekindle an old flame with Jordan to have the Christmas of her dreams? The Nick Before Christmas delivers unforgettable moments of self-discovery and romance. It's an enchanting story of love, hope, and faith that will fill your heart with joy this Christmas season.
And I'm back. Welcome back to Chicks on Christmas Flicks. All right, so in the previous segment, I talked about my recaps and reviews for BB Winans, We Three Kings, Sugarplummed, Our Little Secret, The Santa Claus, and The Merry Gentleman, and I had a bunch of hot or not chick picks. A Very Merry Beauty Salon, Leah's Perfect Christmas Gift, Believe in Christmas, and others, and several others. Now I'm going to talk about what I'll be watching for this weekend. And first of all, I want to give you a list of all the things that I have missed and that I will be trying to catch over this coming weekend. So what I didn't watch, I didn't get to see Debbie McComber's Joyful Mrs. Miracle. with Rachel Boston. I didn't get to see that one. A 90s Christmas, I started watching it and fell asleep. I got exhausted. And that was no reflection on the movie whatsoever. It was just, I was tired. Same thing with a Holiday Touchdown, A Chief's Love Story. I know everybody's probably seen all of it. I have not seen the whole thing yet. I did not want to rate and review it, recap and review it if I hadn't seen the whole thing. I've seen a chunk of it. I have not seen the whole thing. So I want to watch the whole thing from front to back. The Christmas Quest, and which I look forward to, and it's got Christopher Polaha, who I love, and Lacey Chabert. Didn't get a chance to see that one all the way through, so I'm gonna try and catch that one. If it's not on TV, I'll catch it on Hallmark Plus. The Finish Line, and I did not get to see that one. To Have into Holiday, 'Tis the Christmas to Be Irish, didn't get to see either of those. The Best Christmas Pageant Ever is now on demand. That is one that I will rent. I just have not had the chance to check it out. Christmas in the Friendly Skies. One of my writer friends, colleagues, friends, Facebook friends, told me that she wrote this. Rashonda Tate Billingsley, if you don't know her, she was a co-writer, I think, on this movie, and she also had a cameo in the movie. And so I definitely want to check it out, if for nothing else, just to see Rashonda, her crazy self. So Christmas in the Friendly Skies is on Apple, and it is for rent. So you gotta rent it, and it's $5.99 for rent. Now I have to tell you though, even without Rashonda's cameo in it, it actually looks really hilarious. If you look at the trailer, it looks really funny. So while I'm on vacation over this next week or so, I'm going to watch that. BET Plus, I've missed so much off of BET Plus this year. That's another one within the next couple of weeks. I'm going to try and catch up on the streamer movies that I've missed, including BET Plus. So A Christmas Miracle, Wesley Christmas, Brewster's Millions Christmas, like all of those things I want to watch. All I Need for Christmas, I just watched the end of that. I just woke up on the end of it. And so I definitely want to watch the whole thing. Deck the Walls, I have not watched all of it. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. I've watched most of that, but I missed the end, fell asleep on it. Christmas on the Alpaca Farm, that's a Lifetime movie. I didn't get to watch that. Dancing in the Snow, oh my gosh, a movie about autism. I don't know, my son lives with autism, so you would think that I would never miss a movie with a character that lives with autism, and yet I fell asleep on this one. So Dancing in the Snow is definitely one of those that I'll be watching coming up in the next 2 weeks. So you can be rest assured that I will have at least 2 to 3 shows coming up, playing catch up with all the stuff that I haven't watched. And that doesn't even include stuff like Finding Mr. Christmas, which is movie comes out this weekend. I did not get to see how all that played out. I do now know because of the commercial who won, but I don't know how he won. So I'm going to go back and watch Finding Mr. Christmas. I am also going to watch Holidays, which I have been wanting to watch, which is that Hallmark series. I've definitely been wanting to watch that, so that is definitely up. Maybe for this weekend I'll be watching that. So yeah, quite a few things that I haven't watched that I've wanted to watch. All right. So yesterday, Thursday, Trading Up Christmas with Italia Ricci and Michael Xavier. I woke up on the end of it. I did not watch the whole thing yet. So that I think is going to be showing tonight, and I will be watching it tonight. So today's Friday morning, early Friday morning. I'm up at the butt crack of dawn. A holiday touchdown story, a Chief Love story. The extended cut will be showing today. 12 Days of Christmas is on Up TV. That's something I've been wanting to watch. A Cowboy Christmas Romance. If you don't remember, that's the one where I think Sarah Drew directed that movie, and it was supposed to be kind of the quote-unquote first sex scene in a Christmas movie, in a TV Christmas movie. And The Holiday Junkie comes on Lifetime. So 2 Lifetime movies. And The Holiday Junkie I have also not watched. So that is definitely on my list to watch. If I can't watch it, I'm definitely going to put that one on my DVR because I have to see that one. Okay. Saturday, Happy Holidays with Jessica Lowndes and Ezra from Finding Mr. Christmas. So I'll be interested to see that one and how well he does in that one. But interesting though, Jessica Lowndes is back. Remember, she made that like very noticeable exit from Hallmark to go to Great American Christmas, and there's been quite a few that have come back to the network, even to do, if it's just to do one film and it's not like to sign an agreement. But Jen Lilly went and she's back. She's come back several times to do a couple movies. Daniel Lissing, who had like a very I want to say it was a contentious departure, right? It felt like it. If it wasn't, I don't know, it might have just been the fans, right? It might not have been the network. But that was a thing when he went to Great American Family. So now he's come back to do Santa Tell Me, and then Jessica Lowndes, who to me it was another one of those very contentious things like Candace Cameron Bure. And now she's back doing a movie. So maybe it's now we've gotten past that whole heated period, and now everybody's just like, it's work. It's a network, it's work. Whatever. If they offer me a part, it's work. They could be there, right? Or they could be like, I genuinely like work with Hallmark and want to work with Hallmark again. So anyway, interesting politics. But anyway, so Jessica Lowndes is back for the first time in a few years with Happy Holidays and Mr. Christmas. And then a Carpenter Christmas Romance. Now listen, Sarah Drew, last year she did the first one with the whole sex thing, and it was a big deal. Well, she's following that up again this year with A Carpenter Christmas Romance, which comes on Lifetime tonight. And if you saw the commercials, you saw there was some hanky-panky going on, right? So I don't know how detailed or what she's showing or what, but there was definitely some hanky-panky going on in the commercial. So that is premiering tonight, A Carpenter Christmas Romance, and it is a Sarah Drew movie. And Sarah Drew's on Hallmark Plus with the Christmas Mystery. I haven't gotten to see that either. That's another one I need to put on my list. All right, and then on OWN tonight at 9 p.m., Saturday night at 9 p.m. is 24 Karat Christmas. So I think she's going to have like a marathon of her Christmas movies for this year. Mistletoe and Matrimony will play right before this, I think, or sometime during the day. And then 24 Karat Christmas comes on at 9 p.m. So if you haven't seen any OWN movies this year, 24 Karat Christmas is on. I'm definitely going to DVR it. I don't know how awake I'm going to be, but I'm going to definitely DVR it. On Sunday, we have Three Wiser Men and a Boy, the extended cut. The Flight Before Christmas is one of my favorite movies on Lifetime. I love that one. And then Engaged by Christmas is the premiere with 2 Hallmark favorites in this Lifetime movie. Brittany Bristow and Marcus Rosner both play in Engaged by Christmas, which premieres on Lifetime. So suffice it to say, Lifetime's got the movies this weekend, right? Lifetime's got the new movies this weekend. Hallmark's got the extended cut. So if you've already seen, the Chiefs movie and Three Wiser Men and a Boy, and you don't care to see the extended cut, then check out the Lifetime movies. You might catch a few things that you've missed over the season. All right, so that's going to do it today. Please stay tuned. I am going to try, now that I've started to catch up on my rest, as soon as I finish this kitchen and painting this kitchen, really I'm going to get back to my routines. That's kind of like the last frontier for the projects I have for this year. So, in decluttering, cleaning, painting, etc., like that's the last of my projects. So once I get that done, I am done. I am really going to sit down, relax, and not do anything more for the rest of this Christmas season. So I'm just going to enjoy the holiday. So, and then as I'm enjoying the holiday, I'm going to get back to doing my daily chip picks regularly as I can, and then also at least 3 more shows for this year, for this season, for season 5. So please listen in and check them out, because I'm going to be catching up on all of the things that I have not caught up on, or as much as I can, let's say, for this Christmas season. Thank you to my music and show editor, Will B. He created all the custom music for this show. He's at Wildcard Music, and you can find his IG page in the show notes. Until next time, remember, at Chicks on Christmas Flicks, we can never have too many Christmas movies. We can only have not enough Christmas movies. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave a review on your favorite platform, and tell your Christmas movie loving friends about the show. Where can you find us? I'm so happy you asked. Podcast platforms including Amazon, Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, and many, many more. You can find a link at your favorite podcast platform in the show notes. Please follow us on Twitter, IG, and I'm now on Blue Sky at Chicks Christmas Flicks. At Chicks Christmas Flicks, Twitter, IG, and Blue Sky. Thank you for listening in, and I will see you guys next week for sure. Thanks for joining.